In this kind of market, does it really make sense to release a Series 2 of your current project?
Should you click that mint button for your favorite PFP second drop? And can existing projects sustain additional supply to their existing communities? Or should you be trading these differently in this current bear market? Well, we're going to answer all of this and more for you on this wonderful Goats and the Metaverse. Welcome, my friends.
Welcome. If you guys liked Yassi's intro, make sure to hit the subscribe button right now for more of that to come. I'm excited. The new branding is still feeling pretty damn cool. And today we're going to go into a deeper dive and figure out, should projects be releasing Series 2? We're going to cover some that recently released and what they have done and having trouble selling out. And what is the right strategy, or where should you put in your efforts on both the buyer and the seller? So let's jump right into it. Yassi, if you're creating a project right now and you have a little bit of hype going, do you go ahead and release that Series 2?
Well, it's a good question, Stanley, and it's a tough one because we're seeing some controversy or some challenges in doing just that. So let's talk about a few projects. The first one, Coolman's Universe. For those of you who don't recall, Coolman's Universe is a collection of special NFTs from artist and creator Danny Casale. The Genesis collection of Coolman's Universe features Danny's beloved character Spesh traveling across 4 different worlds of the universe, and Babies is the second standalone collection of completely unique art and its own story to explore. So Coolman's Universe decided to go with an additional drop, and this playbook, well, it really comes out of the world of Bored Ape Yacht Club, who were the first to come out with releasing Kennel Club to their holders and giving any Bored Ape holder a ability to mint a Kennel Club and then later on a Mutant. And that strategy was extremely successful for them. You saw the floor price of an ape go from less than 0.5 of an ETH all the way up to 100 ETH, 150 ETH, and has been a playbook for many other projects. Lava Labs followed shortly after that with releasing Meebits to all CryptoPunks holders. Generally would increase the supply, so the first 10,000 would be able to be accessible from your first holders, and then another 10,000 that will go from there. And that strategy in the bull market seems to have worked for every project that came out with it. You would see some strong price appreciation going in for getting some free NFTs. And that strategy we're seeing struggle in this current bear market. Coolman's try to release Coolman Babies. And what are they? They're Universe Babies. It's the second collection from Danny Casale. And the new collection features a whole new cast of characters in Coolman's universe. They play an important part in the ecosystem moving forward. It's a collection of 20,000 NFTs, so you now have double the supply. Traveling the universe of the Ethereum blockchain, featuring a whole new cast of characters. The babies are your intergalactic sidekicks. Okay. Mint price was 0.195 ETH, and some people minted at that price, but they struggled to sell out and dropped the price to 0.089 ETH, less than half the original price. They did refund the difference to those who minted the initial price and still struggled to sell out. Floor price now sitting at 0.7 ETH, so even below the discounted price. So let's talk about that. What is going on there, Stanley?
Well, I'm actually a big fan of Coolman. I believe I have 7 of them. And I did mint my babies for free. So I am thankful for that, but also a little bit disappointed. And I'll tell you why. I believe the playbook of releasing 20,000, selling 10,000 to public markets and giving away 10,000 to the holders doesn't work in this market. They could have released 10,000 for free, give them away to the holders, and let the holders go make a little bit of money on those secondary sales. There's just not enough demand in current market conditions. On one side of the market, we're seeing things, blue chips are killing it, right? We had a punk sale of $2.5 million. Fidenzas are selling, apes are selling. Those types of things are going crazy. But you brought up a good point. A Coolman right now is 0.37, right? So if I'm a holder of a Coolman at 0.37, does it really make sense for me to have a secondary collection at this time? Or do I need to provide enough value to my holders? Do I need to get them over the 1 ETH mark, the 2 ETH mark, the 3 ETH mark? Do I need to put my project in an upper echelon? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of big fans of Coolman out there, and I'm a fan of it as well. So we're really kind of dissecting right now, not his collection and what he's able to do, but the secondary collection. Would you have done it this way? I know I would not have. I would have, if I would have done the secondary collection, here's a free airdrop or free mint, for my holders. And if they want to go flip that to somebody else, great, go ahead and do that. If they don't and they want to hold that and see what it's going to be worth down the line, then go ahead and do that. Don't love this play.
We saw that playbook. We saw that playbook with Azuki, who came to their holders and said, "Here's beans. You can pull them for free." Each person got, was it 1 or 2 beans? 2 beans that you were able to claim per Azuki holder. And you didn't have to pay anything but the gas to make that claim. And that's rewarding your holders. That was before we were in a deep bear market. But that's what we're seeing play out over here. I mean, what Coolman's had going for it, or has going for it, a big brand, well-known in the space. Floor price, not necessarily where you would want to be if you're bringing in additional supply. And then Coolman's baby managed to build a social following, 150,000 followers on Twitter. You would think at 150,000 followers on Twitter and a very active Discord that you'd be able to sell out your project. But what we're seeing here is that new entrance into the market, that FOMO, that idea that you could just mint this and flip it. Well, that secondary demand is not there. It's going into projects that have more status, that have more blue chip potential, or are considered to be the blue chips. Artblock seeing itself back in the day, back in the spotlight with generative art. We're seeing CryptoPunks having a rally, Bored Apes having a rally, the bigger projects. But then we're seeing things like Crypto Saudis selling out and doing $7.1 million worth of volume. But again, that is a free mint that came out. So big rewards going to people that are giving you value for free up front and saying, well, I'm going to give the value away. And if the market takes us off, I'm going to earn on the secondaries. I'm going to earn on the royalties. I'm no longer going to be rewarded for that initial mint price, at least not in this market, or unless you're Doodles and you say Pharrell is now your chief brand officer and you've got that kind of clout, but your Doodles are already sitting at over 10 ETH floor price. And that's a different strategy that you have to think. So what does that mean for you, our fellow listeners? If you are faced with making a decision to mint your favorite PFP project that you've been holding, maybe you've got 7 of them like Stanley, and they're coming out with a new drop. Well, what do you do? Stanley, what's the words of advice?
I mean, listen, I can't even flip them right now, right? Because I'm even like, I don't, at this dollar amount, I don't think it's actually worth it. So I'm just going to hold it and see what happens. But I think that's the dilemma, right? If these things, if there's only 10,000 of them, and they would be sitting at like maybe 0.2 or 0.15 or something along those lines where there's a profit potential. Now I may be able to go sell 2 of them and flip my way into an original Coolman, right? Like those are the types of things that I think people are, or go flip into another project. And those are the types of things that people are thinking about. But listen, at one point, Coolmans were sitting at over 2 Ethereum. Right now, they're 0.37. Yes, we are in a down market, but they're down a significant amount of money. And I think they need to really figure out, how do you provide as much value to your holders as possible? I know they just signed a huge deal that they're working on I believe it is a Netflix series, but it's an animated series with a big production company. I think that's great. Let's work on that. Let's not work on babies. And if we are working on babies, let's give them away for free and call it a day. I think it's a misstep. I think it is a learning lesson, this type of market. Let's see how they recover. There's only 6,200 items that have been minted. Mind you, 10,000 of them are getting away for free. And there's only 2,800 owners. Those are terrible, terrible, terrible numbers. And it does not look good. Now, if I'm a noob or somebody that's looking into this project and I'm looking at Coolman right now, that's a big black eye.
That is a big black eye, and probably a message to other communities out there. And I can get it. I have empathy for community projects and owners out there. They're seeing their volumes dropping dramatically. So secondary royalties are almost at 0 or close to 0. not where they were, and you're trying to think of, well, how can I increase the floor price? What can I do to bring in more revenue? How can I bring in partnerships? I need to generate some revenue over here. So let's go out and sell another mint and think that that's going to work. And what we're seeing is that is not the right strategy in this market. And for you, if you're on the buying side of that, maybe better just to hold and see what you can scoop up in secondary, because you still may have faith that this is a long-term project, that when the market does turn, it will be able to recover and you'll see some good appreciation there, but not necessarily something you need to rush into the mint for. Well, that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, this is not financial advice. We are here to help you navigate this space and have fun along the way. Remember, click subscribe and you could get rewarded with our fancy Goat Bolt giveaway. We'll tell you more about that on our next show. Adios.
Adios, amigos.